Hello, this is Iron Bill, and I'm back again with another video. You know, I shot this whole thing before, and unfortunately, I went a little salty with the recording, and I don't want to do that. This world is full of ugly right now, and this ought to be a place where we come in and relax and just have a good time. So I'm going to shove all the issues about matchmaking aside. It's not good, but I'm going to shove that aside. And I'm just going to show you a match and talk about what I was thinking when it was happening, and we'll just go from there. So right now, this is the feeling out phase. You take your first zone. Now there were 5 of 6 of us sitting on a zone, and the last person was going for a zone. I get melted. Well, I'm having a duel with one person, and then a beloved takes me out from on the platform. But there were 3 guys out there. I jumped out there essentially alone. I shotgunned that guy. Now, I want to point out that I am going to make the commitment to get better at CQC, specifically shotguns. And on the off chance you don't know what CQC is, that's close quarters combat. And it's a real hole in my game that once somebody closes on me, I'm pretty much toast almost every time. So I'm also going to hang with this forward path. And for some reason, I can look at all the yellow numbers there. For some reason, I can land with this gun. I just don't do as good a job with other 600s for whatever reason. And then what's weird about this one is that the forward path has a lot of flash. It's hard to see where you're aiming at times, but I guess I've used it enough. And this one is just super stable, although on mouse and keyboard that shouldn't matter. But it's super stable, and I can hit with it. Notice there that they went for the heavy. We covered it. I picked up a couple of crates. I've got 26 rounds. I'm going to make them pay for letting me have it. And for once, I can kill with a hammerhead. You know, oftentimes I'll put, 15 shots into somebody point blank. Now, see that revoker down there? Yeah, no, I'm not going to play that game. He's trying to get a line, a head glitch line, and I'm just going to make him come to me. If you want the zone, come get it. I'm going to circle out here a bit, kind of bait them onto it. They go for it. We got a teammate with a sniper as well. I'm going to let him commit, and then I'm going to get him. Okay, so I still have 10 rounds. Now, if I hadn't hit my post here, I think I would have killed him because I was nailing the yellow shots. And you see that guy got tapped by the revoker. So I'm not going to commit to that. I'm just going to back up. My teammates do too. And they start moving around for B. And it becomes clear that they've given up on A for the moment, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go for B. And I'm trying to move with my team more. Then I see that C is in danger, and perhaps I need to be careful about going up the center. So I come over the top, and this revoker guy not beloved guy, steps around the corner. No, that was the revoker. Now, I don't want to say Big Bird was doing some spooky stuff. That certainly wasn't. He knew I was standing there, and all he had to do was step aside with the gun level and take a shot. I mean, might as well. With the revoker, if you miss, you get the shot back. But, yeah, there were situations where he just wasn't taking damage. And I thought that was a little bit odd. They're not covering heavy. So I figure, what the heck? Got a couple kills off of it last time. Let's try it again. So at the very least, we keep them off of it. Now, I think I decided to try to go over the top with this in just a second. I think that's what I do right here. And maybe it's the next time. I actually wound up with heavy a few times. Okay, I got my super down here. And I just about pull that guy down. He steps aside, but if I step in there, I'm going to be in trouble because I've got a guy shooting down the center, and I've got the 2 guys on the side who can still shoot. And I want to be real careful not to step into something. All right, so we're controlling the zone. I use up all my heavy. And by the way, always use every single drop of your heavy because I could drop, and that's why I backed out of there, by the way. I'll come back to that thought in a second. I was starting to push up, but I noticed we were all together in that area, and that's how you get montaged, like with something like that. And there is our revoker guy. I'm going to back up because we've got somebody else also under the lip here. And there's Big Bird. Now, I toss a grenade, and basically, I guess I missed him. I don't know. But, yeah, he had my number with that summoner. But anyway, with heavy, you want to make darn sure, watch this summoner play again. He's going to come around here. With heavy, you want to use it all up every time. Okay, he primed me. He took a little off of me with the grenade. but it's back. So I've got my shield back. I just missed the first few shots, and the summoner will melt you. You know, you only need, I think it's just over half a second to kill you, and he had plenty of time. So nothing going on there. Anyway, if you have even a single bullet, and there's the super, I pushed in there, tried to get out. I was going to attack the center, and of course, I walked into a super, and that's generally what happens when I push. All right, with a heavy, I'm finishing this thought. If you don't use every single drop of it and leave even a bullet, I could hand somebody a rocket, you know, if I drop it. So I always fire all of it off, one way or the other, or at least I try to. I can't say always, but all right. So got Spank Me Daddy. The names here or something else. All right, so trying to control center, they got heavy, and I'm not pushing up there to find out what they got. So I'm just going to bug out a second. I've got somebody on my tail. I need to get around the corner, create some separation. They've got 2 zones going now. I'm going to try to come up here and see if I can put something on it, but they've got 3 guys on that one and 3 on the other. And they're just doing a good job of splitting their team up. And my teammate kills me there. Have all the things to do. I'm in the air, and he comes right at me, and I land at his feet and bumps me back, and I can't get away. Don't much appreciate that. But these things happen. So I dropped under the lip. He got around it, but that doesn't matter. This guy's in a position where he can't really get away. He has to commit to getting out. Now watch this. I thought this was weird. I'm trying to trapdoor spider these guys. So he comes around here. And of course, Big Bird's the guy that comes around here and just strikes me. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I saw a bunch of pellets hit the wall. And you know, maybe it's my internet. Maybe I really am having a hard time. You see that guy start to throw his super, and we got him? You know, I'm getting where I'm not going to run from that kind of thing because it doesn't do any good. If he'd thrown a super, even if I missed the first smash, he would have just chased me down. So I'm better off. I mean, I would have been better off with a shotgun and just ending it right away. But I had a good line of fire on him, and I was just going to stick with it. Here's another thing that's irritating too. Anyone else sick of Wither Horde? I mean, it's everywhere. I might as well load one up. I could run that in Annoying Hunger and probably do pretty well. I know there's somebody over here, and I'm just looking for him. I didn't want to walk into a snipe. Heavy's coming up. I put enough heat on that guy, he moves. Get a piece of it. Grab some heavy, and I think this is the time I go over the center. And it winds up being a mistake. Now I've got my super. I think, all right, let's drop that. And then, of course, the tether doesn't stop the super. Of course not. Now we're tied then. Now, I want you to think about this. We were tied. I had 2, maybe 3 people on the zone. All right. If I could have killed them, or if my teammates would have killed them after I was dead, you know, suddenly we're up by a few points and momentum's in our favor. But now, yeah, and I couldn't tell what was going on with that. I mean, I think it was a super and they traded, I guess. I'm not really quite sure what happened there, but I knew there was a super up there, and I knew it wasn't ours, and I was afraid to push into it because I'd already walked into a couple of supers. And I'm getting hit by something, and I'm decide, nope, it's time to back up. We're 9 points down, but we're still not out. There's still a slim chance we can get back into this. I get this guy. So we got 4 guys here, and I'm getting that montage feeling again. But I hang right down here. Now this guy has the sniper, one of the 2 snipers they have on their team. And he's trying to head glitch towards that area. See it? But I go ahead and hang with it because there are a number of us there, and the chances of him hitting me in particular aren't that good, and I'm hitting the headshots. And as long as I can do that, I'm probably flinching him. And he's not going to have an easy time getting the shot. Now, of course, Destiny has a glitch with flinching where if you flinch somebody with a sniper, if they're aimed on your head and you flinch them, when it comes back to rest, it lands right on your head. And that's the guy who had hit me with a revoker a couple times. So that felt good. Now this was kind of amazing to me that I got away with this. All right, now I don't have a hard time aiming the Mindbenders. I really don't. You could aim at the shoulders and you'll probably hit your shot. And there I just came straight at him. I should have gone invisible on that. But, oh well. We were done anyway. It was close. And, you know, I don't mind matches that go like that. I mean, there were some players that were irritating on that team. Big Bird being one of them. But there's always that guy. You know, I'm middle of the lobby. That's a pretty average game. Anywhere from 15 to 20s. Kind of my thing. Notice it's a 4-stack there. And, you know, communication is the difference here. They were able to coordinate their activities a lot better, communicate our positions. It's the way it goes. We also had 2 of the weaker players on our side, but at least it was more or less fair. We did have the one guy that dropped to 42. Now, maybe he didn't belong in the lobby either. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. I mean, I'm really not. I'm pointing out, though, that with a 4-stack on that side, the odds were heavily tilted in their favor. And you know, hey, there's an interesting thing you can do too. You can get on Destiny Tracker and you can look at matches and they can show you the percentage of, or the odds that one team would have over winning over another team. It shows which team should win, and in Vegas style. You know, this team has an 89% chance of winning. You know, and in a situation like that, you know, our chances of winning might be 40% at best, but more likely something like 25%, and it's because of the 4-stack. So, not making excuses too much, but we did okay to keep that close. And it was enjoyable enough. I didn't feel like, my gosh, you know, why am I staying in this lobby? We're getting blown out. And I certainly don't feel like I have to have the most kills. Because I'm not going to. I'm not that good. And you know, I will say one more thing in my defense. I try to do different things. You know, I try to expand my game. However, I fail at doing that. I do try. And the CQC is definitely something that I need to get better at. You know, there for a time I was doing pretty well with sidearms. But that meta has changed, and I was doing all right with submachine guns, and probably could. The Iclos submachine gun is actually pretty solid, you know, if you play it right. You just can't let people close too close. But it's difficult to argue with the one-hit kill capability of a Mindbenders or a Felwinters or something like that. I mean, just that's tough. So I'm going to close it with that and say that for everything else that happened tonight, it wasn't all good. Unfortunately, I wish I could say all my matches were like this, but they weren't. This is what PvP is, and you kind of have to accept it. Now, my personal choice is that someday Bungie would revisit matchmaking, because mismatches should not be so frequent as they are now. But all that having been said, this was a decent match. One of the only ones I had of the night, but it was a decent match. So we'll just leave it at that. So thank you so much for joining me tonight and watching. And this is Iron Bill, and I'm signing out.